Martin, your response to Rabbi Shmuley.
Yeah, again, you know, I find it incredible that he's over here so critical of Kanye West, right? About, oh, he beats his wife, whatever. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a war criminal that's killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, bombed them indiscriminately, etc.
Now, do I agree with Myron on the whole, they killing innocent people? No, I don't agree with that. It's war. You put your people out there, they're getting smoked. That's on y'all, man. They ain't got nothing to do with Netanyahu now.
Look, the things that happened on October 7th were horrible. I've talked about this a million times. The loss of any life, whether Israeli or Palestinian, is horrible. However, I think it's very important to understand that this did not occur on October 7th. There was violent occupation of Palestine by the IDF for decades. This is the typical, what I call low IQ GOP political commentator talking point. Now, for those of you that aren't aware, this dude, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. This dude is a big hater of ours, man. I walked up to him at AmFest and I said, bro, why do you call us frauds? And he listed pretty much two main reasons. So yeah, this guy's made a lot of comments about us saying that we're frauds and all this other bullshit, right? Following Anus and Reach. So when I walked up to him at AmFest, I said, Brandon, look, you know, why do you call us frauds, bro? I'm wondering, like, what's the deal with that? Like, how are we frauds? And he said, I think three main reasons he didn't like. He didn't like that the way that I speak to women on the show. He didn't like that I endorse polygamy, guys having multiple women. And yeah, those were his two main gripes, right? The way I speak to the women, he feels like I disrespect them, doesn't like the tone. And then he didn't like that I advocate for guys to have multiple women, right? And I'm like, in my head, like, well, how does that make me a fraud? Like, you know, when you call someone a fraud, it means that they're being deceptive. I've been very transparent about why I have the views that I have. And I had to explain to him, like, bro, I'm not saying I want every guy running around with 3 wives or 10 girlfriends. No, what I'm saying is I want men to be in a position of power where they're dictating if they want to be monogamous or not, right? And they do that by self-improving. So if a guy wants to be monogamous, cool. I'm going to teach you the skill set to be attractive so you can last in that monogamous relationship. But if a guy wants to have multiple girls, that's fine. I just equip them with the tools. They do what they want to do with it. So that's why I had such a big issue when he called me a fraud. Because I'm like, what about what I said is fraudulent? Like, I've never marketed myself as something that I'm not. You know, I have my receipts behind me of what I used to do for work. Like, I would say I'm one of the most transparent YouTubers on this fucking platform, man. Like, I share my finances with y'all. I show you guys my crypto wallet. I talk to you guys about my real estate deals, which, by the way, I should be closing my commercial deal next week. So stay tuned for a Money Monday episode on that, right? I've shared some of my cases that I investigated when I was an agent with you guys. Like, I think I'm truly one of the most transparent fucking YouTubers on this shit. So when people call me a fraud, I take that with, you know, some level of seriousness because I've done everything in my power to be as authentic as possible. I mean, I've been demonetized for being authentic. I've lost deals for being authentic. I've lost certain opportunities, right? Because of my way of delivering information and the things that I talk about. So, you know, if you call someone else a grifter or a fraud, that's one thing. But to call me that when I've done everything quite literally the opposite, right? Obviously, I'm going to have a point of contention with that. And that's kind of what I addressed when I walked up to him. It was a respectful discussion. I don't hate the guy. My only issue is that, you know, I dislike that he called me a fraud when I do everything in my power to be as authentic as possible in my audience. I'm super transparent. You guys know more about me than most of these other YouTubers because they don't share their lives on purpose. And then like losers like Abba and Preach will call us fresh and fraud. Ask your guys self a question. Has Abba ever told you guys about anything in his personal life? Has he ever shared anything about himself? No, he hasn't. And the one time that he did, we found out that he was a fucking sodomite. Right? So, bro, niggas try to sit here and call me a fraud, but they're not transparent about shit. These reaction niggas, bro. Anyway, let's go ahead and react to this thing real quick, and then we're going to move on to Hamas.
Gay or not, is if you claiming to be Christian, then you need to go.
Let's see what he had to say on this.
You need to get saved. They say I don't really agree with everything he say, and it says me and Myron met in person, and really agree with a lot of stuff fresh and fit.
Okay, so he's on. Let's see what he says here.
Gaines, I think his name is Myron Gaines. All right, let me go to this clip of Myron Gaines. I think his name is Myron Gaines. Yeah, Gaines. Myron from Fresh and Fit. Y'all know I don't really agree with a lot of stuff Fresh and Fit says. Me and Myron met in person, and we were going to go on a podcast together to discuss it like men. And so I don't really agree with everything he say, and I want to make sure.
And by the way, just so you guys know, I've reached out to his booker to make it happen, and they haven't responded. So, because I met his person that runs this Twitter, yeah, I'll message him again.
Sure that I get that out of the way. Just because I put somebody on the TV or just because I interview somebody don't mean I agree with everything they say. But
yeah, I think the thing is, chat, is that he's reluctant to have me on because obviously he might get some backlash from his audience. You know, but hey, we were supposed to have this discussion. Hey, Brandon, if you're watching, you're welcome to come on our show, or we go over to Arizona and work with you, whatever you want to do. We can definitely sit down and have the conversation. I don't hate the guy. I just dislike being called a fraud when I've done everything in my, power to be extremely transparent with you guys. And anyone that watches my content knows that I just shoot straight with y'all.
I can tell you right now, I cannot stand Shmuley. I would not call him a rabbi. I do not consider him to be a rabbi. He is a disgrace to Jewish people. He's a disgrace to the mantle of a rabbi. He is a disgrace to human beings, period. He's the dumbest, weirdest, lying, sneaky, snake oil salesman to ever live on planet Earth other than Judas. Rabbi Shmuley, I didn't want to call him rabbi, but Shmuley and Judas are going to meet each other one day, and you know exactly what I'm saying. Now, Myron had to rip him a new you-know-what, and I'm all for it. Roll the clip.
So I guess you hate Shmuley more than me.
We Jews are never victims. You said that I provoke anti-Semitic attacks. I was recently attacked by someone while I was working on the acceptance speech of one of President Trump's cabinet picks, by the way. It's because he's a friend, did it as a favor. When a crazy Islamist came over and threatened to murder me, it was filmed, it was watched by tens of millions of people. You believe that Jews are never the victims of anti-Semitism. They are the they are the culprits of anti-Semitism. They're the culprits. We invite anti-Semitism. This is the oldest, you have to let me speak. This is the oldest anti-Semitic trope in the book, that we Jews want to shake down the world for money because we're money obsessed. You are saying exactly what Kanye said. Now, I wouldn't stop you from saying it. You're a Kanye supporter because you agree with this ideology, and I have no problem with you saying it because you're not calling for me to be whipped. You're not calling for me to be enslaved. So you can say it. You are a Jew hater, and you have a right to be a Jew hater. I agree with, because I'm a free speech absolutist. The Kanye West says, I beat women.
No, he's not. He calls for censorship of people that are critical of Israel. He calls them anti-Semites and Jew haters, knowing full well that when you do that, you get a target on your back to get canceled.
His wife was ordered by him to strip naked. You're opposed to pornography, and you support what he did at the Grammys to that poor, abused woman? Let me ask you, Myron, why don't you speak out against what Kanye did to his wife if you hate pornography?
Again, I don't like pornography. I don't support it, right? You don't have to agree with someone 100% to still be able to defend them. Like I said before, there's people that hold views that I dislike, but I'll defend their ability to say it because I have freedom of speech. Whether it's racist, it's anti-Semitic, or whatever else, term people want to use, I believe in freedom of speech, and that means protecting speech that you might not like. Also, you lied. You walked up to try to provoke him during the election.
Oh,
he blurted out Sneeko? Come on! Right? And he ended up embarrassing you. So you do go up and try to instigate arguments with people, and then you call anti-Semitism when they respond to you.
Okay, let me get a choke no joke. Hang on. Choke no joke, be ready very patiently. Look, you can see how quickly.
Candace Gabain says, Myron makes other panelists look like children. He's very clear and bold, too intimidating for most influencers because the contrast too much. They will lose followers from the disruption. Thanks, Candace. I appreciate that. I do think that's the reason why a lot of people are scared to platform me, chat. I do think that is, too. And my views on certain topics, you know what I mean?
This escalates into a lot of ad hominem attacks. What do you feel?
I would like to say,
yeah.
First, I'm sorry, what's your brother, the brother name? Myron, what's your name? Myron, brother, please, we on the world stage, man. I don't know if you're African American, or I see you colored. I don't know if you're black, African American, but brother, please. Because one reason.
Now, the reason why I said that, guys, this is a common tactic when black people talk to me to try to get this whole, brother thing, and they make it like a race thing. And they do that to kind of try to disarm my arguments. This happens all the time, and I'm not falling for it. I've spoken to way too many FBAs to realize that this is their fucking strategy every single time, right? As soon as they meet me or they talk to me, first thing they want to do is oh, you're black, you're one of us. Nah, bro, this isn't about race. This is about ideas. Because they always do this. They always go back to race and then use that to continue the conversation. I'm saying, no, we ain't starting with race. We're starting with the idea. And this is a typical tactic that FBAs use against me every single time I debate them. Every single time.
You're talking about race.
Idea's not race. I'm literally a professional at dealing with FBAs, bro.
hold on, brother. We're talking about race. We're talking about racism here, right? Now, if Piers went on X and said black people should be hung by trees and whipped, right? Would you not think that we would not have the same feeling that the Jewish community is having right now with Kanye making these types of tweets?
Really care if Pierce said that, because I would say it's the freedom of speech. You can say that if you want. I might not like it, but again,
my question to you is, as black people, would we be offended as the Jewish community? People would be offended right now.
here's what I'm trying to say. Your feelings, dude. Nobody cares. Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. I don't care how you feel. You need to allow people to say what they want to say. If you don't like it, that's fine.
I'm sick of anti-Semitism. I'm sick of racism. There are white racists, nationalists who hate black people. Some of them are around President Trump, even though I think he's a great friend of the black community, but he has those voices. We have Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson denies the Holocaust, and yet he's in the president's ear. He denies the Holocaust.
Fucking crazy. See how this Rabbi Shmuley goes to these crazy things saying Tucker Carlson denies the Holocaust? What? Not once have I seen Tucker say that he denies the Holocaust. Not once. We all know the Holocaust happened. It did. It absolutely did. This is a historical fact. However, there are some events around that tragedy that might raise some questions. That's all it is. We're not saying it didn't exist or it didn't happen or that people didn't lose their lives. It absolutely occurred. We just have some questions on the details.
Holocaust.
All right,
So please, stop defending hatred.
Okay,
I'm gonna let him finish. I'm gonna let him finish. Shmuley is such a lying sack of
Yeah, see, I'm glad Tatum caught on to that too, and he's familiar that Tucker's never said that shit.
words. Candace Owens whooped his head on Piers Morgan's show.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot to mention, guys, that this guy and Candace Owens are real good friends.
One-on-one. Piers had Candace. I don't know where that clip is at, but y'all can look it up. Candace and Shmuley was on here. Piers held a debate between the two of them, and she whipped him up and down the street. He lied about every single thing he said. I seen a video of him, and I think his daughter has a sex toy company. You're supposed to be a rabbi, bro, and your daughter got a sex toy company with butt plugs.
Yeah, that shit crazy, bro. That's why I call him Dildo Rabbi.
That's crazy.
Rabbi Dildo.
Crazy. And then you on here, everything is anti-Semitic. People can disagree with you. That don't mean they're anti-Semitic. See, some like this fool, they just like black people, the ignorant ones, is that if somebody disagrees with you or they wrong you, you think it's got to be because you're black people get wronged by people. They think it's got to be because I'm black, so it's got to be racism. No, dude, you're a dirtbag. That's why people clowning you every day because you're a dirtbag. And I'm not standing up for Myron and nobody else. I'm just saying Shmuley is a dirtbag. That dude lied on Candace Owens. He get on here and got schooled. Anyway, I'm gonna let it go. But like, if a white man came out today and said all the N-words need to go to a plantation, that I ain't thought twice about that, bro. I'm afraid. You got to be the stupidest person in the world to say something like that. So why would I even give you any credence? Same thing with Kanye West. You want to be a victim. Nobody should be taking Kanye West seriously. Nobody. Do you think that somebody's becoming a Nazi because Kanye West said he want to be a Nazi? No. Kanye West is crazy. He literally on the thing tweeting every day crazy. He say the craziest I've ever heard in my life to troll people.
I made a whole thread, guys. It's actually pinned on my X right now about how Kanye West did this as a genius marketing strategy. I go into detail. I think that was all to push the Yeezy product, man, and get into the news cycle.
And then nobody think he's serious. And if you do, you want to be a victim. Then nobody think he's serious. He cried and cried. Kim, I don't like the way Kim dressed. The woman he with now is a hooker. She literally naked in front of the world. Kanye got her pimped out. They probably got OnlyFans. Ain't nobody believing nothing Kanye saying. That man saying, okay, he said something crazy about Candace. I be wanting to pull up on him when he say something about Candace, but I'm trying to, hey, look, that ain't my argument. Roll the clip.
To joke, no joke in a moment.
I don't think he said anything crazy about Candace. The only thing he said is like, hey, farmer, you don't have nothing to worry about. I didn't do anything with your wife, but Jared Kushner, you got something else, which is kind of funny. Trying to say that he potentially hooked up with Ivanka Trump.
I think it's only fair and right that I go to both the people you've just spray-gunned and get them to respond. So, Myron, your response to Rabbi Shmuley.
Yeah, again, I find it incredible that he's over here so critical of Kanye West, right? About, oh, he beats his wife, whatever. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a war criminal that's killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, bombed them indiscriminately, etc. I find it very interesting that you're so hardcore on Twitter about some tweets that may or may not have been a joke, more than likely a joke, anyone that has common sense, sarcasm, dark humor, etc., versus you're running around with someone that's literally a war criminal wanted by the ICC that's killed tens of thousands of innocent children, right? And then you're over here calling for censorship. I'm tired of anti-Semitism. I'm tired of racism. People like you are the problem, because here's the thing. Americans are tired of censorship. We're tired of being browbeat into being virtue-signaling losers like you, who always sit there and try to rage people and say, oh, you go ahead and you provoke problems with people. I've literally seen you do this. You go up to people, you provoke them, and they tell you off, and then you get mad and you yell anti-Semitism. Quite literally, what I want to hear is this. Rabbi Shmuley, until you can actually call people liars. And that's what he does. He literally walks up to people and instigates arguments, and then they respond and tell him fuck off. Like, anti-Semitism! What they say, no one cares about anti-Semitism anymore. You guys run around, use it for everything. We're tired of it. Stop trying to browbeat us and virtue signal, saying, oh, that's anti-Semitic. How about this? When you can call someone a liar for what they're saying, then we'll start taking you more seriously. Other than that, you're a dildo rabbi.
Now, do I agree with Myron on the whole, they killing innocent people? No, I don't agree with that. Hey, it's war. You put your people out there, they're getting smoked. That's on y'all, man. They ain't got nothing to do with it.
Bro, that L take, man. L take on that one, Brandon. It's an L take, bro. So wait, are you saying innocent people aren't dying in Gaza? Hold on.
But Netanyahu, hey, it's war. I agree with Myron on the whole, they killing innocent people. No, I don't agree with that. Hey, it's war. You put your people out there, they're getting smoked. That's on y'all, man. They ain't got nothing to do with Netanyahu now. You didn't want your people getting smoked and turned into barbecue chicken and laying up on the rocks. You probably shouldn't have did that. Every chance I get to say this, I'm going to say it. Why would I go to a man's house? That's like saying my neighbor, that house used to be mine, but I lost it in foreclosure and the neighbor moved in. And I got a plan that house belonged to me. And I'm going to go to my neighbor's house and I go and shoot his wife in the head and shoot his kids. And then he come back over there and clean my house out. And I'm crying. That ain't right. He should have never, they innocent. My kids are innocent. Why did he come do that? Why did he come do that? It's like, nah, bro. I went over there and provoked that man was living his life. I go over there and do dirt, and then I want to go hide and put my kids in front of me when he come through the front door. That's what Gaza and Palestinians are doing. They go and do all these people in at that carnival. I mean, it's just carnage. Over 1,000 people got killed. And then they go and put their kids in front of them. Oh, don't come over here. No, and then everybody did. That's what y'all get. I hate that it's happening, but that's what y'all get. I can't get mad.
Bruh, yo. Oh my God. Wow. Chat, I'm actually really happy he said that. I'm actually really happy he said that. Right? Because what you guys just witnessed, right? That take, like, Israel's defending itself. They started it. It's their fault that they're getting bombed indiscriminately. You know, you can't go in and do X, Y, Z and expect to get mercy. I am so fucking happy he said that. And the reason why is because what Brandon Tatum just did was he gave you guys the typical Republican talking point when it comes to Israel and Palestine. He gave you guys what they normally say. This is literally frontline center. Daily Wire, Breitbart, Bongino, Crowder, obviously Tatum. This is the typical conservative political commentator response to the Israel conflict, right? Then you got guys on the other side, like me, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Jake Shields, Stu Peters, etc., that for us, October 7th wasn't the beginning. For many political commentators in America, they started October 7th. But they never go back to 1948. They never go back to how we even got here in the fucking first place. And that's the issue with a lot of these political commentators, chat. Brett Cooper, etc. These guys have a very nuanced and ignorant perspective on this conflict because they always started at October 7, 2023. They always start there. And that's by design, by the way. That's by design. We know who controls conservative media. We know who controls it. So in order for these people to maintain their platforms and avoid censorship, they have to take a pro-Israeli stance. They have to. right? Taking any other stance is counterproductive to maintaining their platform, making money, etc. So this is the typical, what I call low IQ GOP political commentator talking point. And here's the thing too. A lot of these guys that are big on the right have no idea about foreign policy. They have no idea about the Middle East. They have no idea about neocons. They have no idea about what the fuck is going on in our foreign policy and who controls it. The reality is simply this. This conflict has been going on for many decades. Israel was given to the Jewish people through the Balfour Declaration. For all the idiots that sit there and say, oh, Palestine never existed. Really? Then why did they call it British Mandate Palestine? It's in the Balfour Declaration. Matter of fact, what the fuck does this say right here, chat? Here's the Balfour Declaration. Here's a copy of it, right? Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the cabinet. The Majesty's government views with favor the establishment in Palestine. In Palestine. You see that right there? His Majesty's government view with favor through establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. And this is a typical Israeli talking point saying Palestine didn't exist. In your own fucking document that led to the creation of Israel, it says Palestine. And this is what sets apart the real niggas from the fakes. The real commentators will go back in time and reveal this shit for you guys. The other ones won't say anything. Israel's our greatest ally. No, they're not. I just exposed to you how an Israeli spy has been impacting American media for decades. Literally decades. I showed you guys proof. He admitted to Israeli television that he was a spy. Do you think Brandon Tatum knows about that?
Nope.
Do you think Crowder, Bongino, any of these guys are going to talk about that?
Nope.
Bongino himself, I like him, but even admitted himself, foreign policy isn't his thing.
Nope.
So I find it interesting when these guys want to comment on Israel-Palestine or our foreign policy in the Middle East. I find it interesting that they want to comment on this stuff, but they're not willing to go back in time. So no, Brandon Tatum, you're 100% wrong on this, bro. You're 100% wrong on this. The Palestinians were there first, okay? Also known as the Canaanites. There was mass immigration of Israelis to Palestine. Obviously, a war broke out, and everyone says, oh, well, they could have accepted a two-state solution back then. Okay, let's go ahead and use a better scenario than the one that he just gave. Let's say you're at your house, and some dude breaks into your garage. You go to confront him. He's like, get the fuck out of my house. And he pulls out a fucking gun. It's like, hey, don't fucking move. This is my garage now. You're like, oh shit, okay. You can have the garage, right? But then you get mad and you go back and you try to fight him again. And fucks you up because he has a weapon. And then he slowly starts to take the rest of your house, right? Year after year, takes more and more of your house. Then at some point, you're pretty much gone outside the house. And then they're saying, okay, now you got to go somewhere else. You got to go to someone else's house. A lot of these Zionists will say, oh, no one wants to accept the Palestinians. Why should they? Like, why should they? Like, if someone takes you out of your house, kicks you out your house, and then the neighbors don't want to take you in, why should they? You have your own house. Makes zero sense. And it's amazing to me how no one sees the humanitarian side on this, where you got a people that had their land invaded and taken from them thanks to colonization and U.S. support, and then you expect them to just leave. Look, the things that happened on October 7th were horrible. I've talked about this a million times. The loss of any life, whether Israeli or Palestinian, is horrible. However, I think it's very important to understand that this did not occur on October 7th. There was violent occupation of Palestine by the IDF for decades. Violent occupation will often lead to violent resistance. It's just the way that humans operate, unfortunately. And for American political commentators to write this off so frivolously and say, oh, well, you stirred the hornet's nest, so of course they're going to bomb you, is disingenuous, low IQ, and quite frankly, fucking lazy. Lazy to do the actual research and figure out what's been going on in that region for 70 plus years. Because in America, we're cucked by Israel. We're scared to tell the truth to our ally, and we cover for them all the time. So this is an L take from Brandon Tatum, bro. It's very obvious he's not familiar with foreign policy whatsoever, at all. And I'll be honest with y'all, most political commentators are completely unaware of this issue.
It's like when a man pull a gun on a police officer, get shot. That's called math. 2 + 2 is 4. You pull a gun on a police officer, get shot. You bomb and kill innocent people in somebody else's country, they're gonna come and kill everybody in your country and take over. That's just how it happens. If you don't believe me, go look at everything else that ever existed in United States history and world history, and you'll see that's how the cookie crumble. You go and play games, you get prizes. That's all. That's all, folks.
L take, bro. L take, man. And here's the other thing, too, why this is an indefensible position that Tatum has here. Israel has one of the best intelligence agencies in the world with Mossad, Unit 8200. They were able to conduct a pager attack that they had bombs in cell phones and pagers for 10 fucking years. And they were able to simultaneously detonate them a decade later from putting them in the devices. They were able to do precise airstrikes and kill their adversaries in both Lebanon, when they killed Hassan Nasrallah, and they conducted an assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, Iran. Why do I say all this? I say all this to say the Israeli military and their intelligence is extremely fucking capable. So if you are capable, why the fuck are you indiscriminately leveling an area and killing a bunch of people when you have the capability of doing direct strikes and you've done it all the time? And then to make things even better, Israel has been saying Hamas is hiding underground. They have tunnels. Okay, so if there's tunnels and you want to get them underneath, why the fuck are you destroying buildings above ground? See how the math ain't mathin' there? The math ain't mathin', bro. So again, this is a very lazy and incorrect take by Brandon Tatum. Look, foreign policy is clearly not his wheelhouse at all. But hey, guys, this is conservative media for you. I'm really glad he said that. This is how most conservative commentators actually talk about this issue. They're completely unaware. He probably doesn't know about the clean break memo, probably doesn't know about 9/11, probably doesn't know about the JFK assassination, probably doesn't know about the USS Liberty, probably doesn't know about NUMEC, probably doesn't know about Jonathan Pollard, probably doesn't know, he might know a little bit about AIPAC, but the reality is most American commentators are completely unaware of the occupation of our government by a foreign nation.
Anyway, Kanye West is an idiot. I have nothing to, nobody believes what he says. He's trolling people. I don't think he believes at all in none of that stuff he's saying. I think what he's trying to do is prove a point on free speech. You should be able to say what you want, man. I don't care if you don't like black people. Who cares? You mean nothing to me. Unless you put your hands on me, then we got a problem. But you can go around and say the N-word and do this to black people all you want. You can have a shirt that say, I hate N's. Of course, it's going to make you feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, I don't care. That's your thoughts. That's your perception. That's like me getting mad at people that don't believe in Jesus. That's on you, bro. I'm not mad at you. That's on you. You believe in Buddha and them. That's on you. I'm not finna argue with you about that. Now you come to ask me my opinion on it, I'm gonna tell you off. But if you running around with a Buddha shirt, you running around doing.
All right, so this is what I would say. You guys can go ahead and clip this. Brandon, if you want to go ahead and have a debate on, whether it be my views when it comes to women, dating, relationships, the nuclear family, whatever it may be, or if you want to have a discussion on Israel-Palestine, I'd be happy to have that discussion with you. But look, bro, respectfully, you're 100% wrong on this foreign policy issue. I could see it's not your wheelhouse, but it goes way further than October 7th. But then as far as the other stuff, be happy to have a discussion on it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If he wants to do it, cool. If not, no biggie, man.